Hello everybody and welcome into the channel. Today we're doing something a little bit different and we are going to be going over a 10-part series starting with part 1 here. This is going to be a series on the upcoming scenarios for Umamusume and their expected release dates, as well as the mechanics and a playthrough of each and every one of them. So starting off today, we're going to be doing the make a new track scenario, which if you take a look in the menu here, is right after the Unity Cup. So we have the standard URA, the Unity Cup, make a new track is next on the list, and it is expected to drop sometime in March of 2026. That being said, Cygames has been making a lot of moves recently, and we may even see it sooner than that. So we're going to go ahead and break down the information of this career mode and why you should look forward to it in the next video, and we're going to be trying to release one of these a day. So tomorrow we will be doing one on the Grand Live scenario. The day after that, we will be doing one on the Grand Masters. Tuesday, Project Lark. Wednesday, the UAF Ready Go scenario. Thursday, the Great Food Festival. Friday, Run Mecha Umamusume, which I'm really excited for. Friday, we'll be doing the Uninhabited Island, which is a crazy one where pretty much everybody is going to be getting rankings in the U, which is above S. And then the one that just released this past month for the Japan servers, this is going to be the Yukoma Hot Spring scenario. I have not actually played this one yet. I have played all the others, but we will be breaking down as we go through them. So I hope you enjoy and make sure to watch through to the end to get full information on the upcoming scenario. We are back on our beautiful Japanese account, and we are going to be going through 2 separate career scenarios. The first one is going to be the make a new track scenario, and the second one is going to be the Grand Live scenario. Now these are going to be huge when they eventually come out on the US servers, as they're going to increase the UMA ratings that people are achieving overall quite significantly. The reason for that is there are large stat cap increases, meaning you will no longer be able to max out at 1200 in every single stat. Now, it doesn't open up quite as much as some of the later racing scenarios do. However, the stat caps are still pretty significant, enough to start increasing people's UMA rankings and potentially start reaching S ranks or even higher. For the make a new track, it is important to note a couple of things before starting. There are no character-specific tasks in this scenario, so things like Sakura Bakishin having to do the sprint stakes twice, every single character-specific task that is assigned for your UMAs do not exist in these. We are being graded by points that are achieved during deadlines, which means we no longer have specifically assigned races, which is cool because that means we don't have to worry about the career scenario telling us what races we have to race, and it will also allow us to achieve wins in literally any race that we would like to with any UMA that we would like to. Now, the current URA and Unity Cup that we have are pretty good about picking good balanced races for our UMAs. There are some that make it a little more difficult, such as having Tenno Springs sprinkled in there, you know. But that is no longer a case in this scenario. We are choosing what races we are going to do. The only one that we are guaranteed to have to choose is our debut race, but besides that, we are going to aim for high grade points. Now, what this means is throughout certain races in this scenario, you will be able to achieve graded points and coins. Graded points are going to be our goals for this career, unlike the previous careers where we would aim to either complete the URA finale or reach a certain amount of fans or win certain races. Instead of that, we are going to be aiming to reach a certain amount of points per every single task that we achieve. We will also earn coins while training certain stats that will allow us to buy things from the new shop. The new shop is pretty good. It will include a ton of items that can do a variety of things, and we will get into that as we go through this career. So let's get started.
新たな奇跡を描き出せ。無二の王冠をいただくか、尊き盾を手にするか、あるいはさらなる誉れを求めるか。定められた道などない。己の意志で未来を切り開け。その先に待つ栄光の舞台で最強の名を掲げよ。夢のありかその向こう、始まりへさあ挑め。メイクはニュートラック、クライマックス開幕。
All right, so to start us off with the new menu, you can see up here we have our graded point counter. We currently have 0 points before our junior debut, and down here this extra menu that has been added is the external shop, where we can buy stat increases and many other things, which we will go over once we have unlocked it. For now, we are going to focus on training up our Umas like we normally would. The other features for this career will start to take place in a few turns. So now we have made it to our junior debut, and you will probably notice, given the image, a few different things on screen. I don't expect anybody here to be able to read Japanese, but if you can, even better for you. But just most of the game can be kind of determined off of the icons and the images that they provide, especially if you've played it as much as I have. So what we're looking at here is our standard junior debut race. However, there is this star icon on the race. These are graded points that you will get for your races. So the junior debut, if we win, will give us 10 graded points. The other upcoming races will increase significantly. G1 races will give 100 graded points. G2 races will give 80 graded points. G3 races will give 60, OP 40, and pre-op 20. So it is important to keep those in mind when selecting your races. Another thing to keep in mind when selecting your races is the end of this scenario will have a track race that will be breaking down into 3 different races. And these 3 races are going to be determined by what races you choose throughout your career. So if you choose shorter distance races, you're going to have shorter distance Twinkle Start Climax races, as they call them. Longer distance, you'll have longer ones, medium, mile. They're all relative to the career path that you choose. So going forward, we're going to want to keep that in mind, especially when continuing to monitor our stats such as stamina. So for example here, we came in 3rd place, so we do not get the full 10 graded points. We're only up to 4. We do need to get 60 for this current task, which means we got a pretty long way to go, but if we choose our races correctly, this should be easily achievable for us. So now we have our next goal up, and what this loosely translates to is we have 12 turns to get up to 60 points here. Our next task will be 300 after that, and the task after that will be another 300. As you can pretty much confirm, it does get easier as you go on, as you will have more G1 races available. So now if we enter the new store here, we will see items that we can purchase with the coins that we collect throughout our races. So these green icons are the coins that we get for winning our races. And here we have many items. Some of them are significantly better than others, such as the Spartan Megaphone, which gives a practice gain of 40%, and the Carrot Barbecue set, which adds a +5 to your support bonds. There are different varieties of options here that you can purchase, and those will become more relevant when the game releases in the global servers. However, that is a pretty standard breakdown of what they're used for. Since we did end up losing our first junior debut race, I do want to unlock more races, so I'm going to go 1 turn ahead and schedule a race that is going to be another pre-op that will allow me to finish the main task of winning a junior debut race and will ultimately open up the races for us going forward so we can earn more points and more coins. And here we are at our race, so I'm going to switch us to a front runner, and we should be able to get our first place here, and we earned the full 10 points here for the graded points system, and we will be able to continue moving forward with some higher tier races in order to increase our graded points significantly. So now, since we have 14 graded points and we do need 60 in the next 6 turns, we are going to take a race. And the reason we're taking this race specifically is because this little versus icon in the bottom right here has appeared. This means that we are going to be going up against a selected rival. In this case, the selected rival looks like it is going to be Maruzensky. What these rival races does is if we win, we will have a chance of getting a specific skill hint and or specific skill stats that will assist us going forward. Being able to win these races is a little bit of an odd mechanic, as you win if you get first place. If you beat your rival but you're not in first place, it's considered a draw, and if you are below them, then naturally that is going to be a loss. But it is strange that not beating them, even if you're not in first place, is considered a draw. So it's just how it goes. I can't complain too much about the mechanic because I really do like this game mode, but that's one thing that's kind of important to keep in mind. So we are going for the win here. So as you can see here, we were able to pull off the first place over Maruzensky, who was our listed rival. That was the first time we did that race, so we did end up getting some significant points there, and we got some carrots. That rival race alone gave us 60 points, and that is going to complete our gauge for what we need to achieve going into our next task. Now, keep in mind, this does not necessarily mean that we shouldn't do any other races. A lot of the time during my A-rank guides, I specifically say, just do the minimum, make sure you can get through the races, and then focus on training from there. However, being able to do races in here will increase your coins, which means you'll be able to buy better stat increases and other items. So it is kind of important to make sure that we are focusing on that as well. I am focused specifically on scrolls here. These scrolls will increase the level that you're increasing your stats. So this gives a plus 15 bonus to power here. This is a power scroll, and there are different variations of these scrolls, such as the levels 1, 2, and 3. Level 1 is going to give you upwards of 10 points. The medium one will give you 15. The largest one will give you 30. So we're getting 15 here. Not bad. We get the 30 coins as well. So this overall is considered a really good scroll. I mistakenly said this was a level 1. This is a level 3 scroll. So plus 15 to power and 30 coins. So we're going to go ahead and we'll purchase that since we got 175 here. I'm going to hold off on any of the other items here until we are able to guaranteed get some more scrolls going forward. But I am going to go ahead and do another race here since we have another competitor, our rival. It looks like Hishi Amazon. Yep, Hishi Amazon is our rival for this one. So let's go ahead and see how this one plays out for us. So that is another first place race against a rival. There's our carrots, and we have achieved 134 points here. And we increased our coin stack by 100, which is fantastic because that means if we get any good stat increases going forward, we should have more than enough coins to purchase them. Alrighty, so we have 3 turns before our next goal comes in, and we did use one of our items that gives us a 40% increase to our stats. So as you can see here, we are getting pretty significant stat bonuses when doing our trainings, and this is why this mode is going to really increase the Umas that we're going to see, whether it be in PvP or just overall personal achieved rankings, because the caps are higher, and we'll go over that once we get a little closer to reaching some of the caps in this run, but we'll get higher stats, higher rankings, and the training is a little bit easier and more smoothly polished, in my opinion, than the Unity Cup. So a few things to note here. So points do not carry over. As you can see, we now have our new goal in 24 turns to reach 300 points, but we do start off with 0. So keep in mind, any races done after you've reached the point cap is mainly to achieve coins so you can purchase more items in the shop. Another thing to keep in mind is that while doing these races, you will have significant point drops for each race. So for instance, if you are doing a G1, G2, G3, OP, or pre-op, as I mentioned, you can get 180, 60, 40, 20 points for your meter here. The place that you reach in each race will also distribute a certain amount of coins. So first place will net you 100 coins, second and third will net you 60 coins, fourth and fifth will get you 30 coins, and below that you will not get any coins. Also, now that it's been a few turns, the store has changed. So every 6 turns, this store will change and we will be able to purchase new items that will give different increases. Now, I'm going to go ahead and purchase some ones that I know will be quite useful for us. That being said, there are so many of these, so even though we are looking at the English translation here, I am not going to go through every single one of them. We can break that down more in detail when it releases on the global server, although you probably won't need it since it will be in English, so I'm guessing that anybody that speaks English will be able to understand what each of those trainings actually does. So we are doing another rival race. This one is also against Hishi Amazon, and this is going to be good to get our grid points up. So let's see how this one turns out. Hopefully we'll come home with another first place. And that did give us our first place. We're gonna get the 30 carats from that, but we also got the 60 graded points for that G3 race and another 100 coins, which is phenomenal. That'll get us a pretty good amount of way to our 300 here. So now, not only do we have a versus match, but it is also on a G1, which offers 100 points. So this is going to be a really good race for us. It's only 2,000 meters. We do have aptitudes for both the distances and style there. We are going to go to our skill book and purchase some skills to get us through this race, as we really want to make sure that we are bringing home these wins. The stat that we're getting here is called the future is bright. If you stay in front in the middle of the race, you will be slightly less likely to tower out during the middle distance. So that's a very loose translation. I'm using an actual translator here, so forgive me if it's not exact, but you can get a rough understanding of what that recovery skill does. So let's purchase those and do this race. Since we have maximum energy, we shouldn't really be negatively affected all that much, and we also have a great mood up against Tokai Teo. Let's go Pace Chaser since we have the A aptitude. Oof. So that is a draw. Tokai Teo came in 14th, we came in 2nd. See how that works? So we're only going to get 60 points from that, but we do get the satisfaction of coming in 2nd place during a G1, so I won't complain too much. We'll go back to the board and clean up some of our stats a little bit here, and then we'll take on some more G1 races. So we did just get through the beast training there, and it was rather uneventful, so I didn't really cover it. It's pretty much exactly the same as our standard beach training in the URA and Unity Cup going on right now, so no real big changes there. But all right, so here we are. We finally hit our 300 point goal here. We actually got 306 points. Ironically, we did get 16th in this race as we were just a little bit shy. However, as you can see, even losing the races, you still get a little bit of points here. I believe, actually, that's a good question. I missed how many we got, but I think it was like 8 points or something like that. Very small amount, so don't count on, getting a bunch of last places and still achieving your point caps. However, if you are just shy and you don't have any races or turns left, you can go into a race you don't have a good aptitude for and still manage to scrape out those last few points if you are just shy. So now we are headed into the Twinkle Series. So this is what is essentially the URA final for this game mode. However, there is no process of elimination. So if you lose you do not end your scenario. You can continue racing through all 3 of the Twinkle Series races, and you will get additional bonus points depending on where you place in them. You have a overall standing at the end of the Twinkle Series based off of where you place. So it's sort of like the Unity Cup in that sense, that if you win certain races at a high enough position, you will rise up the ranks and overall be at a higher position at the end of the series. So now that we've reached the climax, let's go ahead and hop into this. And we do have some pretty awful support cards on this account. Like I said, this is just an alternate account that we're playing on the Japanese servers, so we're not necessarily maxing out our stats or anything like that, but we should be able to get through this career scenario no problem at all. Another thing to keep in mind at the end here is we did choose mostly mile and medium races throughout our career, so our Twinkle Series races are going to mirror that. We do have a 1600 meter as our first race. This is our second race at 1800 meters. Now, we did get second place in the second race, so we now are in rank 3 out of 16. So there we have it. We have very, very, very low stats. We do not have a good build for this character, whether it's sparks or support cards, as this is a very, very new remote account. So the stats are actually quite a bit lower than I had assumed they would be, but that's not the point, as we are just going over this scenario. So we did end up coming in 5th place for the Twinkle Series, so we didn't get any great bonuses. However, that is a full run through of this Twinkle Series, including information about what we have to look forward to with the upcoming releases. So a couple of things to keep in mind is that if you do end up having very good builds, which I'm assuming most global people will have by the time this arrives, there are different types of stat caps. So speed will be capped off still at 1200. Stamina's stat cap increases to 1900. Power is at 1200. Guts is at 1200. However, wit is up to 1500. Having these extra caps for increased stats, I believe, will make it a lot easier for trainers to get higher rankings in their Uma playthroughs. So anyways, that is my breakdown of the future Make a New Track scenario that is going to be coming out. I hope you got some useful information about it and are as excited about getting into it as I am. I believe we'll be seeing a lot of S-Ranks Umas coming out of this with those stat increases, and we'll be able to do quite a bit more than we were able to with the Unity Cup that came out. It's a little convoluted in my opinion. I do like the Unity Cup, don't get me wrong. However, Make a New Track is going to be massively different, and I think people are going to start using it quite a bit more than either the Unity Cup or the standard URA final scenario. So anyways, if you have any questions or you'd like to continue seeing videos like this, please feel free to leave a comment in the comments section. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for all future content. Thanks again for watching and have a great day.